We're live again, yeah? People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in to another one of my live streams, the second one of the day. If you've been in both of those, massive respect. If you're just tuning into this one, I appreciate it. And obviously, for those of you that were in the last one, I always appreciate the love. I'm also well aware of the fact of, you guys have all got your own lives to live. You've all got to, like myself, pay bills and the rest of it. So I understand, and I apologize. I understand if you can't see all of them, and I apologize if the sort of way I've been structuring them has been of a disconvenience to you guys. But I know a lot of you over here in the UK, it's evening times. You're coming in, you're preparing food for you and the kids. You're having a shower, you're unwinding from the work day. So big up to everybody that's in here. Please hit the like button as well. Please get on the like button. I was too excited to come and speak to you guys, so I forgot the M, so it's saying Ake, so it's meant to say make sure you have hit the like button. So yeah, hit the like button on your way in, people. No disrespect, but it doesn't cost a thing. Hit the like button. Obviously tomorrow it's Arsenal versus Molde, Molde versus Arsenal. Please obviously hit the reminders for that. Hit the link right now. Make up another tab while you're listening to me. Give me a like. Even if you're not going to be there, hit a like button because it helps it get seen. Hit the reminder. And yeah, we go again tomorrow, people. 4:55. We'll be there an hour before the game. So yeah. This is really, and big up my guy Curtis Shaw, because I thought I was done with the stream thing today, but I was watching his video, and them ones there, like you're getting creative juices from other guys. He said a lot of talking points, and he made me think, raw, I've got some things to say, really, and it's not a lot of thoughts, so I thought I might as well. But before we crack into that, people, I'm sure you've all seen the shocking news in the last hour or so. Sadly, Diego Maradona has passed away at a young age of, I believe he's 60. I don't need to tell you who Maradona is, such is the heights that he hit. When you hear Maradona, you think of football. Same way when you think of Kobe Bryant, you think of basketball, sort of thing. Same way you think of YouTube, you think of Deluded. But on a serious note, he's achieved greatness, Maradona will live forever. He has achieved greatness that was always going to outlive him, that's going to outlive his grandkids. He is a hallmark in world football, and football is going to live on. Legends don't die. As Adam said, he's firmly a legend. I know he's had a lot of health problems and complications, and forgive me if I'm wrong, like a month ago or so, you saw something about he's going to rehab. So to see a man's lost his life in 2020, which has taken a lot of people's lives generally, and again, you're seeing a lot of well-liked people die as well. It's a shame, man. It's a shame. And my thoughts are with Maradona's family and his loved ones. He touched the world. I didn't have the pleasure of seeing Maradona live in the flesh, but he's someone that you look at, you look at the footage, you see how good he was. Obviously there's the hand of the God. He played football, he played football like he lived. He come across as a guy that firmly lived every day like it's his last. Obviously he's best known for what he's doing for Argentina and Naples, and RIP him. We all love football, and if you have seen him or haven't seen him play, you're touched at this and you're moved and you're shocked by this. So first and foremost, apologies to his family for this loss and sympathy with them and condolences and the rest of it, people. It's absolutely upsetting. Also, like I said in my other live stream, Heavy D's also died as well. I didn't know him personally. The only time I really came across him was at AFTV when we're all, how I met Curtis and Turkish and whatnot. We're all lining up for interviews, and he came across as someone with a larger than life mentality. He was a big guy, and his personality was even bigger. He was jumpy, he could hear man from a mile away. I assume he's got kids. I assume he's someone's uncle, he's someone's husband, he's someone's cousin and all the rest of it. So RIP him, man. It's sad to see people losing their lives, and he's in his 40s. It's messed up, man. It's messed up. And I'm not going to sit here and preach to you lot and tell you lot to live every day like it's your last. But for me, it does really make me want to push for my goals even more and try to achieve stuff, because you truly never know when it's your last. This year has shown that, you're seeing people very healthy die as well. I'm sure you've all lost loved ones this year, whether it's due to, COVID flying around or illness, and it's messed up, man. There's just too much death in the air, man. RIP him. Like I said, Maradona will never die though, because real legends never die. He'll live forever, man. And, hopefully he's out there playing football in heaven. And, when I die and I touch heaven, hopefully, when it's the Heaven Premier League and everyone can play, I get to play, people. But, as Benji said, when God decides it's time, I guess he'll come for us. Rest in peace, man. It's mad, Ahmad. It's mad, bro. It's mad, bro. It's mad. It's mad. It's upsetting, man. It's real upsetting. But big up everybody that's tuned in, man. Big up everybody that's tuned in. Please hit the like button. It doesn't cost a thing. Big up Alex. He said I'm on form. I'm trying to be, man. I'm trying to be. I just can't leave you guys alone, but we was there for 2 hours earlier and we're here now. Big up South London's finest. He's in the building. You know, we're here again. You just can't get rid of it. Don't know, my guy. You know, he had a sensational life, man. He had a sensational life, you know. R.I.P. Heavy D. Like you said, it's a crazy world. Madness, people. Absolute madness. Big up Tristan locked in as well, you know. Pele's had his words to say, you know. That's what Pele's had to say. Sad news, I lost a great friend and the world lost a legend. There's still much to be said. May God give strength to family members. One day I hope we'll play together in the sky. You know, them two and George Best is going to be legendary. R.I.P. man. R.I.P. everybody. That's everyone, man. It's there's too many names and whatnot. It's upsetting, man. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. But like Wayne said, in better news, you know, in better news, like Wayne said, can't seem to get rid of DG. Guy keeps coming back, you know. I was about to make a certain joke that I heard a rapper called Rimsey say, but I don't want you lot to think DG's on a madness. But big up everybody that's tuned in. Like I said, good evening. I'm seeing a lot of you in the comments. Please make sure you hit the like button. You know, please check out the pinned tweet because, again, it's Molde versus Arsenal tomorrow. I'm live streaming. Please, obviously, make sure you're there. Hit the reminder from early. Copy and paste that link from early. Do what you need to do because come 4:55, we're there, people. Also, if you're not going to be there, then I appreciate that. But please hit a like. You know, your like does that little bit for a next person who doesn't know who the hell DG is. See it, you know. If we all do that, we get closer to, you know, getting a bigger DG nation and the rest of it. So big up everybody tuned in. You know, we've got people here from Trinidad. Big up all my Trinidad people and all my Caribbean folk. How did we get to Trinidad? Because you lot were liking up the vid. So please make sure you're doing that, man. Like you said, back again. Big up John Wayne, man. John Wayne's always here. You're going to become a moderator. Let me type your John Wayne's name. For those who don't know, I was doing a live stream earlier and seeking moderators and the response was crazy, man. I'm there, JC, man. I'm there, man. I'm there. I got my health, and especially with what you're seeing coming out in emerging news, RIP Maradona. You know, I can't complain about anything, man. You know, it puts things into perspective. What are we out here moaning about? Because I've had a bad day, because this laptop ain't worked and this has happened. I can't moan about nothing. It sounds disrespectful. So RIP. Big up all my Indians in the chat as well. India is a nation of 3 billion people. So it always shocks me the sheer amount of Indian thugs that come here and salute me. So big up all my Indian G's out there as well, man. This year's messed up, Benji, man. This year's messed up. You know, my health is good, my guy. Big up Kim's. Big up Austin, you know, big up Jamie. Everybody's here. Make sure you hit the like button. But let's get on to stuff now, you know. Let's get on to better news or more like football related stuff. And I know Arteta, I'm still waiting on Arsenal to process his what do you call it, his press conference quotes and stuff and put them on the website and all them sort of things there so I can obviously dissect it, and it will probably be more for the live stream tomorrow at 4:55. But some little snippets have been coming out, and obviously we're gonna get onto the Eriksen bit in a minute, but I can't ignore you guys. You lot gassing me. I'm seeing the love, man. Big up yourselves. Big up Armenia in the building. You know I got love for the Irish. I wish I had the luck of the Irish. Big up yourself. You know, big up yourself, Edison, man. It means a lot. I'm always appreciative of all the support that you guys give me. Let's speak about this Eriksen thing very quickly before we touch on other things and whatnot. For what it's worth, before I go through Arteta's points and everything, I don't think it's gonna happen, people. I don't think it's gonna happen. We're not gonna get Eriksen. You know, I'm interested in taking Eriksen on loan if that was a thing. Do you get it? Like Eriksen, I'm not saying he's James Rodriguez or Isco, but he's one of those that people can, right now, you're looking at it, people can see they're a baller. And if it's just on ability, you know, if it's just based on ability, you could see why anyone would go for him. But there's a lot of variables. Obviously, if he was to succeed and at another club, we might kick ourselves. But I'm not really fond of the Eriksen one because, you know, we've given a big contract to Aubameyang, at least for 6 months. We've still got Mesut Ozil, you know, fair enough. Ozil, Mustafi, Luiz, Bearman come off the wage books in 2021, but you still have Willian, you know, you still have Kolasinac on 100k for another year. You still got Lacazette. You've still got a costly one. Obviously, Eriksen's skill set is missing at Arsenal right now, so it would make a difference, you know. I would take him on that basis. That's why I wouldn't mind taking him on loan in January, at least for 6 months. And if he came, he'd have my all support. But I'm not really buying it. I'm not saying that this is the hill I have to die on, but I don't think it's going to happen anyways. And I just don't think it's a thing. The age he's at, he went to Inter Milan because it's a good club. But why did he leave Spurs? He wanted better wages. And he's got that. We're going to have to give him the same or give him a better wages, and obviously give him a sell-on clause. Obviously, I could sit here and say he's Prem proven and all of these things which are valid, but he did look like a shadow of his former self at Spurs towards the end of things, and Spurs fans would know better than me. I know that was a bit like Alexis, and if I look at it, man say he doesn't want to be here, he's going through the motions, this, that, and the other. It makes sense for that. For what it's worth, I don't think he's a player for Conte. It's a bit like the same parallels with Cesc Fabregas. And what I don't get, and they're not the same player, but they are similarities. I don't really see fans saying, don't use Ozil, or for years saying don't use Ozil and get rid of Ozil and these things, and then you want Eriksen. Obviously, they're not the same, but it's literally the same player. So it's not really going to say anything or making any sense, people. It looks like Eriksen is likely to leave in January. You've heard Conte speak, the president speak, and obviously Eriksen himself speak. He's not playing. It's as simple as that. There's no game time. We've got a Spurs fan in the building as well. Eriksen is finished. He's on the decline. He's got that bag. I do think he can be a success elsewhere. You're hearing Madrid allegedly interested in him. But for Arsenal, I think we should stay clear, because obviously, how does it fit tactically? We haven't got a number 10 of sorts. I know when Joe's played at the weekend, we went with a 4, but, we're playing with a pivot. So it's not going to gel unless Arteta long-term is going to change things and whatnot. But for now, how are they going to fit in there? That's why we need what I call an 8.5. 8.5, the Kevin De Bruyne sort of things. We're not going to get him. Or what we need, we're not going to find these organic 10s, these poetry emotion 10s. The game is dead in that regards. If there is any poetry emotion players still about, they have to be met with, they're ready to do the pressing and whatnot. Long gone are those casual sort of days, people. So it doesn't really make sense. Fabrizio Romano said, I'm 90% sure Eriksen is leaving Inter Milan in January. At the moment, there's nothing in Xhaka Eriksen swap deal rumours. Apparently, James Ollie, a journalist, has said Arsenal have been offered a cut price deal to sign Christian Eriksen in a deal worth less than 16.9 million Inter Milan paid Spurs. The Gunners have been informed that Eriksen would consider joining them despite spending 7 years at Spurs. And obviously, Eriksen's from Holland. I mean, he's from Denmark. He's played in Holland. We've got to look at it. We've got to look at it logically. He's got no allegiances, like to Spurs. And the same would happen if he was in Arsenal colours. A return to London, a return to the Premier League. It could be something for him. But and obviously, I understand why Arsenal would be offered. Think about it. If Inter Milan want to get him off and January's coming, then there's either Eriksen's agent, there's either Inter Milan, or there's other agents like middlemen working on Inter Milan's behalf to drum up business. So naturally, if you've got a product and you want people to find out about it, what do? You offer him around Europe. Arsenal need a midfielder. I wonder if they consider signing Eriksen, and then you'd see sort of things you get. So this probably just middlemen. I think it's just paper talk for what it's worth. It's a want-away player. Arsenal lacking that position. Fans are kind of begging for Mesut Ozil to return and would jump at Eriksen. So I just think it's nonsense in that regards. 12 million, obviously, when you see 12 million and it's a bargain price, sort of basement value, that's probably up Arsenal street. But I don't see it happening, people. We need outright centre midfielders. And if Eriksen is willing to adapt his game, there's also that, of course. But I don't think it's going to be a thing for us, people. For what it's worth, Arteta himself has said on Christian Eriksen, there are a lot of players that can improve any team, but obviously we're not going to discuss individuals. So he's not in for him. When asked on Jorginho, who Pep Guardiola wanted while he was at Manchester City, and apparently we tried to get on loan with an option to buy, and apparently Arteta still wants to go for him. He said, we are still open to improve our team. Sorry, but I cannot talk about players that play for a different team. That's a bit different from the Eriksen talk, and it's still broad, but it said, we're open to improving, but I'm not going to talk about Jorginho because he doesn't play for us. And obviously with that in mind, he's probably being wary if we might go for him again. On Aouar, he said, I don't want to talk about players at other clubs that are not our players. Do you remember when he said that, people? He also previously said on John Stones, he's got many attributes I like from one, but we're not interested in him. So he kind of follows this terminology. And, he said that about Aouar and Partey, and there was a pursuit. Allegedly, we tried for Stones in the summer as well as Jorginho. Sander Burge, better yet. Sheffield United midfielder has also been, been linked with a move and names been in the whatnot and things, people. He has said we haven't shown any interest in the player and he's a Sheffield United player. I would like him, but it's not going to be a thing, people. Arteta was also asked on the possibility of Jack Wilshere returning to Arsenal. He said, we haven't analysed that situation. As a player, a teammate, a person, I rate him really highly, but at the moment, we haven't looked at that. And obviously, from my heart, I would be at it. I would want Sander Burge. I would take Jack Wilshere back. But is it going to really make a difference? Yeah, he knows what it means to the club. And yeah, he technically plays in a role we need. But I don't think when I apply my brain and look at it without emotion, it's the best. It's not the worst decision, but is it a logical decision? Technically, we need homegrown players, so it could make sense. But I feel it's probably healthy for Arsenal and Jack Wilshere to keep their relationship as it is, just leave the past in the past. I do want him to return as a manager or a coach one day, but it is what it is. And it's nice to see Jack Wilshere for what it's worth, people. He's out there in Dubai or somewhere in the Middle East, if I've got it wrong. He's playing, he's training and he's keeping up his fitness and all of those sort of things. So I hope he finds a club. I hope he gets a club, people, really and truly. But in relation to the Eriksen business, I can't see it happening. In relation to, I saw some rumors about what's his face, Saliba. Apparently he's willing to take a wage cut, courtesy of the rumors at Arsenal or on Arsenal Twitter. He's willing to take a wage cut to get his loan move back to St. Etienne. And it'd be lovely to sort out, Saliba's short-term future, because he needs to go and play football. It's simple as that. It's as simple as that, people. Big up everybody locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. It doesn't cost a thing. Please make sure you're checking out the pinned tweet in which you can explore the channel memberships that I have. And more importantly than that right now, please hit the reminder button and the like button in another tab for my live stream tomorrow from 4:55 UK time, Molde versus Arsenal. Big up everybody locked in, people. It means a lot that you think I'm your favorite channel. It really means a lot, man. It feels amazing to know there's one person out there that rocks with me like that, people. Big up yourself as well. Big up you, Rizzy, for bussing me as well. Hopefully that's the start of many more bits of content, people. Deluded Gooner, not new to this channel, proper deluded. Hey, man, you don't know, man. I guess you come courtesy of the Hugh Wizzy cosign train. Big up yourself. Big up my moderator, Marcus, sending my mad love, people. It means a lot. Seth, anyone would be a good signing right now with Arsenal's form, my guy. But we need to find a creative number 8, man. We've got, I'm seeing a lot of what do you lot think on Eriksen? If it did become a thing and it moves for more than just paper talk, would you lot be in for him? Would you be against it? Would you be against it, but you're open to it? Are you dead against it? Do you want it and you're hoping it happens? Let me know what you lot think. Bob's not really feeling it, I'd rather we go for Aouar and Shabozlai. Tabs is saying, so I have just one question. Why do I believe we do have an Eriksen already in Ozil? They're exactly the same sort of guy, man. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. And maybe there's that, it might be, fundamentally it could be that if it was levels, we wouldn't pay 12, people would pay more than 12 million, And that's it, Neil, man. If it works, it looks smart, but but at the same time, you get what you pay for, and it's a costly error, like what is looking like with Willian if it doesn't bang. Can we scout and find someone that's a bit raw that could become that? I don't understand it, because you had Hakim Ziyech begging to come to this club, Overmars begging to sell him to us, and our loss is Chelsea's gain. And you see how good he's going to be for the team, people. Rosenberg is saying, forget him. Exodus isn't here for it at all. Just tuned in. We're still entertaining this. I'm not entertaining it. I just felt it was a talking point, really and truly. It wouldn't make sense for me with Eriksen. It wouldn't make sense. And that's a bit of that, like I said at the start, my guy, the system doesn't work for him, and the sort of mentality that Conte wants, it's a bit like with Cesc under Conte. It's not going to work. I do think he could find joy elsewhere. He's been linked with Madrid. He's been linked to PSG. But for me, I'd like to stay clear. Once again, if he came, I'd support him like any other player. If he went back to another Premier League team and hit the ground running, foresight, better foresight could be applied, and everyone learns in hindsight, I guess, He is a very, he is a top player. He's a creative player, but that's my opinion, Hi CM is saying, let's go for him, 22 Chad is saying, forget all of that. You know, Isco is needed, best player available in that profile. You know, and it seems Zidane is bent on letting him go, hell bent on letting it go. You know, Titan is saying too many men are desperate. We saying we need to have standards. You know, Edison, that is a point. He wanted a new challenge. I just think he wanted finances, really. And maybe he just wanted a new project, a new challenge, you know, a new project, a new club and whatnot. It felt like he hit a glass ceiling with Spurs, really. I agree with you, my guy. There's no chance of it happening. Not that I know any agents and whatnot, you know. You know, either he's down tools or he's just finished, probably a bit of both. You say tens are dead. What do you think about Szoboszlai? Yeah, you know, he can play as a creative midfielder as well, but he's more of the modern day sort of creative. He's not the poetry in motion one, my guy. Like poetry in motion, at least for Arsenal, isn't going to bang, or Ozil would be in the starting lineup, people. By the way, what Champions League games are you lot watching? Because right now it's Man City versus Olympiacos. That's actually why I was 1 minute late, guys, because my TV wasn't turning on, and I can't lie, I wasn't trying to start this live stream without being able to glaze in the corner every now and again and indirectly see the game, people. I cannot lie. C is again said, DG, any info on Aouar? You know, do you know what? I think it would be in Arsenal's best interest if he doesn't, if he keeps up this kind of shaky form. When I say that, I mean, obviously I want him to play better. Obviously, I'm not trying to, how to make it make sense, wish bad on a guy. But I do think like Upamecano, the speculation all summer over their futures and, you know, off the back of last season as well, I'm not going to say it kicked the stuffing out of them, but it does look like they're suffering a bit psychologically. And I think, you know, if his form continues like this, maybe other teams will still go for him at a cheaper rate because Lyon can't go around and say, yo, that whole 60 million stuff is not going to bang. And obviously, if it's 40, there's more people listening. And that's obviously what I was alluding to could be of interest for Arsenal because, you know, what you're scared with Aouar is a bidding war. You know, Arsenal could still be in the bidding war. At the end of the day, if you put the money on the table, Lyon accept it. It's down to you to convince him. You know, he'll listen to your conversation. You know, obviously when Madrid and Juventus and these teams come in, it gets long and you probably miss out. But saying that, you know, you have to sell Aouar the carrot of, listen, you've seen many players go to Real Madrid and Barca when they haven't been at their full potential and it hasn't worked out. I don't want Arsenal to be a stepping stone and don't look at us like that, but come here, develop, and then we'll talk about things, you know. Obviously, the whole French ties with him, and that could be good, you know, because obviously if him and Szoboszlai continue to have great seasons, you know, there's going to be a lot of speculation going into the Euros. And if I was both of those players, I'd actually, well, I was less likely for obvious reasons to go than Szoboszlai. But if I'm both those players and their futures haven't been decided in January or early summer, you'd be inclined to believe something along the lines of, you know, it's going to affect them. Obviously, you'd have to crowd out the noise, but you'd have to wonder how they're going to be affected during the tournament because there'll still be a lot of speculation. You know, Szoboszlai scored for Hungary and took them to the Euros, and Aouar will be hoping to get in the squad. You know. Paper play contract with Wilshere, that could be an avenue. That could be another avenue. I mean, they'd be stupid to do that because, you know, they're getting 100 something for Sandro anyways. But, you know, if they were offering that, I'll take that. Big up Pepe. I like Pepe, but I'd rather Jadon Sancho. I like him. I think he could do a job in the squad, but I probably wouldn't move for him, my dude. I probably wouldn't move for him. Please hit the like button, people. It doesn't cost a thing. Check out the pin tweet. Make sure you've hit the like button of my video tomorrow and also the reminder. Big up all my JA tugs, all my Saint and soldiers, boy. Come on. We can't join the membership unless you've been affected, unless it's a country thing. I know some countries are having problems signing up. If you are having problems like that, let me know and I'll try and pattern something and do a Patreon page or something like that. Come on, my guy, you know, chilling in your cousin's yard, it means a lot, man. And however you're watching this, people, how are you lot all watching this? Or some of you commuting home, you know, are you in your cousin's backyard? You know, whatever you're doing, it means a lot, man. Big up all my JA tugs. Countryman got me, man. It means a lot. You lot always support the thing. Get liking, as he said, people. Get liking. Jack, we need a goal scoring midfielder, or at worst, a dynamic midfielder. 100% agree. I don't mind alone. I'd be more open to it. You know, Voodoo Child isn't here for it. You know, not too sure I agree with Partey not being a good signing, but you're allowed to have your opinion, my guy. You know, I like Harriet, and I also like Golovkin. Golovin, not Golovkin, the boxer, Golovin. But I wouldn't mind any of them, but I'm still waiting for them to take it up a level, if that makes sense, before I really start gassing it and going for them. Who is his latest video in relation to Arteta? You'll see the guy, so hit that up after this, obviously, and after you've hit the like button of my video to come. Make sure you don't do that. You know, I'm on to Eriksen. You know, he said he's faded. Quite crazy, man. Big up yourself, man, and thank you for watching it, man. It means a lot. You know, big up Hugh as well. He's still, the Hugh plug is still still working, man. You know, big up Covey's in the building. Big up Alexander. You know, big up Titan. You're right. Arsenal do love a cheap deal, and sometimes cheap deals become mad expensive. Like seen with David Luiz, he's had good bouts of form, but he's also been sent off a couple of times, conceded hella errors to goal and whatnot. William looks like an expensive one. You know, you get what you pay for when you do these sort of things. You know, when you try and do these cheap and shrewd additions, and it doesn't appear that we've done much due diligence and whatnot, people, which is quite scary, man. You know, big up Ruby, but he's not here for the Eriksen business. You know, William in the 10 is an angle I'm willing to try. If it gets to that, we might as well just re-register Ozil, because there is no point freezing a man out if we're not going to utilize anyone else in the transfer market or buy anyone else. That's just me anyways. You know, if I was being shown something on the sporting front to say, all right, cool, you know, Arteta's showing me creativity, so there's no point talking about Ozil. Or, all right, cool, he's frozen out Ozil, but he's brought in the next man. It is what it is. Only reason people are talking about Mesut Ozil is, simply put, there's a lack of creativity within the side. Football is as fickle as that, people. It's simple as that, man. As simple as that. Big up everybody, man. Look, we got people tuned in from the US. Make sure you're hitting the like button, people. It means a lot that you lot are tuned in. You know, please make sure you hit the like button. It doesn't cost a penny, people. It really doesn't cost a penny. Thank you very much. Big up yourself, Black Sheep Soup. Means a lot, man. It means a lot. But the Eriksen thing isn't banging. Szoboszlai, it appears that there's a mad sort of race for his signature. 1 minute Spurs are coming in, Madrid's coming in, Arsenal's coming in, Milan's coming in, Leipzig's coming in. It's a bit gazy. It doesn't really make sense. And, you know, it just seems like people are using us to kind of just throw us and a lot of other names in just to talk about things for the sake of it. Big up yourself. You know, I've got that game on record. I'm sure we're all going to do Szoboszlai watch, people. We're all going to do our Szoboszlai watch. Come on, Bob. Like Bob said, like the video now. It doesn't make sense not doing that. Come on, man. Come on. Let's get some questions in. Big up yourselves, people, man. There's nothing else to talk about in relation to Eriksen. So, yeah, man. Hey, big up myself. Big up yourself, Michael, man. Some stew, chicken and rice. Elite, man. Send some over to North London, my guy, man. My guy. Big up everyone, whether you're cooking, commuting home, you know, working from home, whatever you're doing, you know. Big up Bob as well. All the way from Nigeria. It's crazy where this is reaching now, people. It's a crazy thing. It's very mad. Manchester City are playing Olympiacos right now. You know, that's the game I'm waiting for as well, my guy. You can't not wait for that, you know. You have to watch that, you know. I wouldn't mind Marcus Edwards. He seems to be developing well in Portugal, would complement the squad, and there's still that element. I guess there's always a case of pulling back Matt Smith. You know, midfield looks a bit crazy. On his bringing back Max Smith to help our season looks a bit mad, and I wouldn't want to do it if I was him. I'd want to stay at Swindon, because are you going to be part of the squad or are you actually going to play is another question. But I guess in theory we can. Grealish for 150 million, as great as he is, no. That's Aouar and Szoboszlai and probably a couple of other players for me, or at least one more for me. And you know, there's stuff that could be done with that. So yeah, man, I hope that makes total sense. Who's your GOAT? Greatest of all time? Well, it's got to be Lionel Messi, but it's not going to make sense. But Lionel Messi for me. But, you know, Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, R9, Thierry Henry, I don't think a single footballer is better than them. Cristiano Ronaldo's also there, obviously. I don't think anyone's better than Ronaldinho, and I'm not taking anyone above Thierry Henry. You know, I'd rather Thierry Henry ahead of everyone that's kicked the ball. I don't care what they've done, what they do. Thierry Henry is my guy, my guy. Big up Marcus for regulating anyone doing up spam. Please just like the video. Please, I will get to your question. There's no need to spam it and all of those things. You know, Philip will just take Philip, apologies, but he's on taking Eriksen purely just to pee off Spurs fans. Don't mind that, you know. We've got more people in favor of Eriksen. So it's very mixed, people. Some of you are feeling going for Eriksen. Some of you are saying, forget about it. Let's leave that one. This is why I like being on live with you lot, people, because everyone's got different opinions. Everybody sees the game differently. We can't just look at it through rose tints and whatnot, people. So yeah, man, it's appreciated. Working overtime. So hit the like button, man. Big up the Chicago Tugs as well. Yeah, firmly. Partey is the man, you know. You get Partey and somebody else, sort of thing. I do miss being in the Champions League. I don't miss the cricket scores we used to get and all of those things, but I do miss being in there. Bro, I'll be Neymar's there as well. I'll be real. Statistically and them things, their Neymar's surpassed Ronaldinho, but Ronaldinho is Ronaldinho. He's got the streets, the true GOAT, you know. He had me wearing a headband and all of these sort of things. So yeah, man. MP has said, big up DG. Do you think Maitland-Niles has what it takes to grab the tennis spot? Nope, it's a box-to-box thing. I don't think he's got the guile or that sort of thing to play within that role and excel, you know, square pegs in round holes sort of thing. I don't think the tennis his, you know, he doesn't break the lines enough. He doesn't receive the ball well enough. It's just not a thing for him, people. And I heard that Arteta spoke about Balogun and the need to extend his contract and said it was kind of him that pushed for it. Is happy news. It's not happy news yet because Balogun still has not confirmed a renewal of his contract, but hopefully that happens, people. And in fact, bang on time, the press conference has come out. Let's talk about what Arteta's had to say in relation to Balogun. Who wrote this article? Big up Rob Kelly at working at Arsenal because you came through for me. As soon as I refreshed the page, you was there. Look at Hader. Big up Hader, man. Even the trolls, man. Bro, everyone, bro. Like Ronaldinho, listen, Ronaldinho is the only person, one of the only people, I don't believe in the groupie thing. But if I was ever at some event or whatever, and Ronaldinho was there, bro, I'm shamelessly screaming, oh, Ronaldinho, are you mad? Ronaldinho. Hey, big up Kaka as well. Throw up Kaka in there as well. But Ronaldinho, are you mad? R9, you mad? Come on. But in relation to Balogun and Arteta's comments, he has said, he's a player that I want to stay at the club. I love working with young players. You can see the talent is there, the ambition is there, and he can fit with our structure and process in the future. He's part of the DNA, and myself and the club are working to try to extend his contract. We're trying to change the situation that we're in at the moment and trying to convince him that this is the right place for him. The moment that I started to see more of the player and change certain things that I didn't agree with, we decided to give it a go. Tried to convince the player, tried to show him what we wanted to do with him, why he fits in with what we are trying to do at the club. So he said that, you know, there might have been things that, you know, when he asked him to, based on that sentence, I'll say it again, the moment that I started to see more of the player and change certain things that I didn't agree with, we decided to give it a go and try to convince the player. So clearly the ability is there, but maybe from a sporting perspective, there was a reluctance to throw Balogun in there. Maybe there was something in relation to his attitude. I'm not saying he's got an attitude problem, especially when you're a young black guy. You know what they like to do with them. But I'm just using that one to help play devil's advocate and paint a picture. Balogun does love a whole bit of attention seeking stuff on social media. He's a young man, he's 19, but you know, you have to, no one can tell me don't love it when Aubameyang's putting the time will tell sort of glass hour imagery and you're doing the same thing. I think Balogun wants to make it at this club. He fundamentally just wants opportunities, but at the same time, he's got to work for them. You know, people always cry for young players, and when they're thrown in, scream they're not ready. You know, I do think if he was to sign his contract, there'd be more acceleration into the next step of his career, whether that's playing more with the first team and traveling more or going out on loan. If I was him, you know, I would ideally, if this contract thing wasn't a thing and he signs a deal, you know, you'd probably want to go out on loan in January. As I've previously said with Balogun, he needs to go and play strikers that are defenders, that are stronger than him, faster than him, and the rest of it. And he's only going to get that by being in men's football. So he's done something to convince Arteta that he deserves more of a chance. And you know, with Balogun, I want to see him play people. You know, I want Balogun, Tyrese, John Jules to be given opportunities. Between Balogun, Eddie, and Tyrese, You know, they can all play in other roles. Both of Tyrese and Balogun are strikers, but there's also a chance of Balogun being a winger. He's going to be a striker, but he's filled in wide positions at times, coming through Arsenal's academy and done quite well. Tyrese has done quite well in a 10, you know. Either way, I would like to see Balogun and Tyrese John Jules given more opportunities. I do think them two, along with Eddie and Ketty, if you cannot get £20 million or raise them to the level of being worth £20 million, then there's something wrong with us as Arsenal as a football club, because they should be bringing us money, you know. So I think these are players that can progress to the first team or allow people to make more cash, people. And obviously the final bit of what he said the young talent and the top talent that we produce at the academy is with the final aim to put them in the first team. When I signed for this club, it was one of the things that excited me the most, because I love to work with them and it's part of our DNA and the history of the club. When we have them, let's keep them. And we really think there are players that can take us to the next level. In relation to Nicolas Pepe, who he's kind of alluded to is going to start, people, big up yourself, Joey, each and every time. Big up Gunman Khan. He's been in both of these live streams. Big up everyone that's been in the live streams, you know, because by the time this finishes, you know, that could be 3 hours and stuff. I really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate if everyone hits the like button, if everybody also goes over to my Arsenal Molde versus Arsenal live stream, Molde versus Arsenal, you know, 4:55 from tomorrow. Drop a like on my video. Please hit the reminder, even if you're not going to be there. Just your like button helps it scroll up more in somebody's recommended stuff. So please do that. But in relation to Nicolas Pepe, I'm tired of speaking about Pepe at lengths and all of these things. We've all had our opinions on him as a player, on Arteta's management of him, of the red card. We've all spoken about it. I do think the media went OTT with Pepe and saying he's going out on loan and the rest of it. But Mikel Arteta himself, who hung him out to dry, has more or less said Nicolas Pepe publicly and privately has apologized. And he's, you know, David Ornstein has confirmed he's still a popular member of the squad. So I never believed rumors anyways of people turning on him and all of these things. It doesn't make sense. And if our players, I would look at our players sideways if they were rocking with Pepe, he gave the red card, and then they're turning on a man straight away, because that tells me when things get tough, you lot divide. You don't stand with your guy, you know, right or wrong, back your brethren, you know. You stuck with Xhaka when he done the thing with the fans, whether I agree with it or not, because I didn't think it was that deep. Both were being stupid, fans and Xhaka. But you can't back Pepe because of a red card. When Xhaka's doing that, when Aubameyang's missing penalties and not scoring, when Lacazette is missing tap-ins, when David Luiz is getting sent off, you know, or making poor back passes, when Kolasinac is doing mistakes, or Leno, I'm not trying to blame any one of these players or scapegoat any one of these players. My point is, you know, very few players in that change room can look around and say they've never made a mistake in their life. They haven't made a mistake in the last 2 seasons. And so fix up, have a bit of sympathy and move forward. We're only as strong as our weakest link. Also, you know, if you were rocking with him and you turned on him, I'd question your mentality. Rock with your guy, like I said, you know. So I didn't believe all of this talk about the players have turned on him and stuff. Yeah, I think they shouted at him and said, what are you doing? Why did you get it sent off? And all of those things. But that's completely different from casting man to the side. Big up yourself, Joey, and RIP Heavy D, as I've also seen you put as well. Big up all the newcomers. If you're new into this live stream right now, or you're coming in late, make sure you hit the like button on your arrival. Have some manners. When you go into I don't know anyone, but in Caribbean culture, you have to greet everybody when you go in the yard. So right now, you know, if I went into someone's house, it's good evening to everyone. So when you come in, rather than saying good evening, obviously, hit the like button. It don't mean a thing. This comment was so great, I had to reel it up twice. New to the stream and loving it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, my guy, if you're loving it. Don't just get away with this thing. Big up yourselves. For me, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see him go to Germany, go to the Championship, follow what some of these players are and go into League One. Because if you throw Balogun in there for 10 games, I back him, but you don't know what you're going to get. I see him scoring some goals, but he's going missing on others. He's still learning. You even saw it in the 20-odd minutes he played. He made some promising runs, but there was also areas of development. He's of that stage where to get experience, you need to be exposed to it. So for me, it'd be a shame if I'd love him to stay at this club and obviously sign a new deal, but it'd be a shame if he signs for this club again and he's still stuck with the 23s, unless it's a thing where, you know, he's of the Greenwoods and the Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott's, where you're basically first team, where you're actually, well, to be fair, Eddie and them, man, were kind of that as well, where you're training and you're playing the occasional 23s game to stay fit, but you're not quite there for the first team. I think he should be looking to get 20, 30 games somewhere, man. It is what it is. to really develop. The same goes for Joe Willett, same goes for Nelson. These sort of men now need to, at some level, need to be going in August and looking back in May like, yo, I've played 20, 30 games. What level am I at? Because only then will they see their true level. They'll have games where they've played man off the park, games where they've been anonymous. I know this because I follow our young players, and I apologize to everyone waiting for my loan report. Spoiler alert, Ben Shafe is playing tonight, so his second game won't be covered in that, but you'll see what I'm talking about. There's already been mixed successes. You know, Matt Smith is showing extreme consistency. I'd love him to get an opportunity. In the same way, I hope Ben Cottrell, Balogun, Miguel Aziz, who else am I missing? Ben Cottrell, Miguel Aziz, Balogun. There's another young player, Smith Rowe. I want them all to play tomorrow, some minutes, man. You know, RIP Maradona, RIP every day. You know, it is what it is, man. That's it, Leno. That's it. Leno has. I'm not criticizing it. You know, Pepe's got us out of trouble. He's done it in FA Cup. You know, he's done it against United last year. Done it against Sheffield. He's done it a couple of times in Europe. My point being, if we're going to turn on everyone, it's not going to work. So I agree with you. Big up yourself, Eric. I apologize, man. I apologize. But you never know, man. You never know. You know how YouTube is. It's quite fickle and whatnot. Joe is saying, why not for 12 million, you know? To be fair, from what I hear, apparently there is a option of extending Balogun's contract already within his deal. I don't know that from a fact, but that could appear why up until recent, Arsenal have been a bit casual, or it seemed a bit casual with making him sign a new deal and things like that. But to the honest fan, and again, I can't confirm these things, you know, January he can move. And obviously if you're the German clubs, you know, you're looking at Balogun as an asset. He either comes, if he comes, first and foremost, you want a first team player. He can help you with that and there's profit. If it doesn't work out, you'll still be able to sell him, sort of thing. And he'd be coming for free. Big up my tactics board killers, man. Big up everyone that watches my tactical reviews. A man bought a tactics board because of me. Talk about influencer. Should have done some affiliate marketing there. Could have got a little percentage. Is what it is, though, man. Banter aside, man. You know, we should. He's probably been offered, Adam. It's probably been offered to us and we've rejected it. You know, I'd be amazed if the Premier League clubs that can afford it weren't offered it. I think Leicester probably offered it. You know, even Wolves probably offered it. You know, City, Arsenal, United, all of these, they all get offered around people. Obviously, it's down to people to take them. If Inter want to get rid of him, then naturally they're going to offer their client. I hope Arsenal win it, but it all depends who drops down into the Champions League. Let's keep this good ratio, people. Please keep hitting the like button. Hit the like button on both videos, man. Hit the pinned tweet now, people. I might said pinned tweet. I'm so used to Twitter. Hit the pinned comment now, people. Check out the channel memberships. Please hit the reminder button for my live stream tomorrow, 4:55. I'm going to keep saying that until it goes up. Make sure you're doing it, people. I think Eddie Nketiah can have a good level or play good football, but it all depends what's his level. Right now, I'm only seeing stuff to suggest you're going to be a squad player here. So we'll have to see what happens, man. We'll really have to see what happens. But moving back to Pepe, who Arteta had to, well, you know, must have given him a headache. Arteta in his press conference said, no, it's absolutely not the end of his Arsenal career after the red card. It's not about that. And I don't like that type of statement. I will give Nico my full support all the time. He knows where he has to improve, and we all know his qualities. He has some responsibility. I have a lot of responsibility, which is to get the best out of him and get the best position for him, the best areas where he can do what he can do without the ball. I cannot fault his effort at all. So he's been trying hard. He's been applying himself, but there's still, you know, the level of progress Arteta and he wants to make. There's been something that's not been allowing it to happen, sort of thing. He's also said, you see the way he strives for the team, the way he's working. He's been the best since he's been at the club, but there have been some aspects he can do better in because he has the ability, and everyone can see that. You can be more consistent. You can have less hot and cold moments. You could be less passive, and I'm sure a lot of you have other opinions to speak on in relation to Pepe. He said, that's where I'm going to put the pressure on him to deliver what he can do. To say it's a threat for him to finish his Arsenal career, it's not like that at all. And that's fantastic that he still has a future. Obviously, he was going to anyways. You know, how are you shifting Pepe anyways? You're going to have to make a loss. And at 25, do you really want to concede it right now? There's still that bit of hope, because if he was to leave tomorrow, yeah, he'd be a flop and underwhelming. But have you given him every possible chance to succeed at this club? Potentially not. So yeah, man, obviously does need to improve and things like that. I can't disagree with what I'm seeing here. And he's also said the club made a huge investment on him and people expect a lot from him because he has this quality. I said many times with the strikers and attacking players, it's the most difficult thing to be consistent when you have to create, when you have to unlock the door, when you have to score or get assists. This is why he's here, and he needs to embrace this challenge and go for it. We have to provide the best possible and ideal scenarios for him to do that, and you can't take anything away from such people. He also said in relation to the game in general, what he expects from the game. In fact, before I get into that, people, I actually wanted to speak about positive news in relation to injuries. Not that any injury, in fact, even another pause, people. Big up Yohan for becoming a YouTube member. I really appreciate that, my guy. It really means a lot. You know, I've seen 3-4 men become members today. It means a lot, and I hope more of you continue to do such, man. It means a lot, man. Big up yourself. I can't put into words what that means. It really is heartwarming, man. You're consistent, always in these live streams. I always see this name. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Can't, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I'm not just saying that because it's the right thing to say. I really do mean that. And I wish there was a way I could express that. Yeah, I did see that video on that game coming soon, my guy. I don't miss a beat. You know me. Anyways, back to Bukayo Saka. Not that, you know, I'm happy he's getting over his injury more than others, but apparently he'll be available for the game against Wolves. He suffered a dead leg in the game against Leeds, obviously due to fatigue because the sheer amount of games he's been playing and did play over the international break. So he'll be back versus Wolves. Willian has a slight calf strain sustained in the game against Leeds. As expected, he hasn't traveled, or as said in my last live stream, he didn't travel to Norway. He will continue to be assessed, and he's aiming to be available for the match against Wolves on Sunday. You already know Marie is still out. Apparently, he's now integrating into full training. Over the next 2 weeks, Martinelli plans to join into squad sessions. Partey has not traveled and is progressing his rehab, so hopefully he's involved against Wolves. Obviously, David Luiz has traveled to Norway. El Nene and Kolasinac are still isolated as part of what needs to happen and remain unavailable for the game. Also on Pepe, David Ornstein said, from what I hear, he's a player. He's a player who is a popular figure inside the club. He trains well and hard, showcases his skill and ability. So again, if you're training hard, if you're showing what you can do, I very much doubt they're just going to turn on you. And he also said, Arsenal have invested a lot of money into him, and I absolutely see no way in which they cast him off or look for him to leave. To the contrary, I think they'll be focused on getting the best out of him in years ahead. And he only had one excelling season in France, and that's what you're hoping for. You know, can you persist with him this year and hope at 26, 27 he turns into a decent sort of player for us, people? I don't think he's going to be our Mane or our Salah or our Mahrez or Sterling or Son or these sort of wide focal point players, but I do think he could be a decent player for us if he applies himself. It's down to Arteta to obviously look to see where he's going right and wrong with his development of Pepe, but the penny ultimately drops for Pepe because there's several reasons. Ultimately, if he can ask himself the honest question that Pepe has given everything he can to have a successful Arsenal career. Not saying he's not applying himself, but has he done? I'm not saying he hasn't done the minimum required or more. My question is, has he done his maximum so far? If he's done his maximum, if he feels he's, you know, he's done bare video analysis, he's always speaking with Arteta, he's always training extra, you know, he's really applying himself, you know, really real applying himself, then cool, things aren't happening. How can you work smarter rather than harder? But if he can't say he's applied his maximum, then it's a bit of a question one, people. We'll have to see, man. You know, maybe Arteta's calmed down a bit in relation to the Pepe thing, and he's seen it for what it is. But moving away from that, people, and getting back into the usual stuff in relation to the game against Molde, he said, Arteta said, I'm scrolling up, people. He said, on what he expects, he said, they will be tough. It's a different competition that we've been really excited about playing against a team who we know are good and tough. They made it difficult for us in the first leg, and tomorrow on an artificial pitch, it becomes different. We need to get used to it, and today's good practice. And with that being said, that is scary, people. You know, I don't want to be the guy who talks about pitches and whatnot. But you are hoping for me that these players, every one of those, come through this game unharmed and don't suffer any serious injury. Because of the way football is right now, players are dropping like flies. When I hear artificial pitch, it does fill me with nerves, people. So hopefully we've done our little training on the pitch and we've got our appropriate footwear. Nobody gets injured, people. He said we are getting on fans. He said we are getting used to it, unfortunately. We have some news now in England with the Premier League that fans are going to be allowed in the stadium, which is great news. Everyone's been waiting for them. So let's see how the clubs cope with the finer detail to provide a safe environment for them and the best possible conditions so everybody's safe and they can support us. And we do need the fans. I think, you know, we would have missed if, you know, we have missed the fans, but if they were there against Leeds, Aston Villa and Leicester, I'm not too sure if you would really want them there. On what he expects from Molde, he said, a really organized team. They are very dominant in the league, obviously, and are so used to winning football matches. I expect them to have a real goal tomorrow. They were aggressive when they played against us in certain phases of play. They were really organized and good on the counter-attack and set pieces as well. We want to be there, win the game, and we know that will give us qualification. So what more is to be said? You win the game, qualify, subs can come on, the young G's, Miguel Aziz, Balogun, you know, Cottrell, you know, all of these guys involved that we hope to start and play. You know, they'd have a game or so to really, or a couple of games really, to have fun. And obviously for Arteta, it makes his job easier because if he qualifies and the games, as you lot can see, the fixtures are piling up, people are getting injured. You know, if we qualify tomorrow, next week, he doesn't have to use any first team players really and truly. He can save legs, people, really and truly. And also, obviously, traveling is just traveling, but we need to remember, just because you're not playing doesn't mean you're necessarily, you know, not really had anything taken out of you, because you've still got to get up on them planes. You're still training, you know, you're still playing on these other pitches. There's all little niggling knocks. Not saying that I'd rather the young players, but you can save people that are more likely to make up the bulk of his squad. And he said it there. To be fair, he listed Leeds' dangers word for word when in the press conference to go and play Leeds. So I hear the same thing. You know, they are an organised team. They were aggressive. They were good technically. If I was them, like I said in my live stream earlier, you know, I would think Arsenal are genuinely overrated and have, based on the last game we played, and genuinely want to devour them. You know, seeing what Leeds have done, seeing what Villa have done, knowing that, you know, they made that Europa League game harder than it needs to be. I believe I can get 3 points. I don't know if fans are allowed in Norway, and obviously fans in general haven't been at games too tough, but you'd probably sit there and say, all right, cool, I back myself. You know, the fans behind us giving us a lift. And for me, you look at the Europa League games we've played so far, we haven't been perfect. On the face of it, 9 points, you know, we've got some cricket scores like 4-1 in our last game, but we've needed to turn games around. Pepe's had to turn games around. You know, that 4-1 victory we had last time, it flattered us, people. We all know we conceded the first goal and whatnot. So I want to see us start strong and just dead the game, simply as that. He was asked on Pepe again. He said, yes, absolutely. We've all had disappointing reactions in our playing careers. And obviously we were frustrated because when you play against a team like Leeds for a long time with 10 men, it makes a huge difference, even more with the way they play. He's had a really good reaction, the way he apologized, the way he understood his responsibility. And hopefully tomorrow we can see the player that we want to see and have a good reaction to help us and help his team. So again, Pepe is probably going to play. We need to rest legs. He's irrelevant for 3 games. So it is what it is, people. You know, he has to do up Europa League. I've already said what he said about Pepe's future. He's asked about it again and he repeated it word for word, but he said on getting the best out of Pepe, he said, absolutely, it's a joint responsibility to get the best out of Pepe. So I'd have to ask Arteta, does Arteta feel he is doing the best to get all he can, or trying all he can to get the best out of Pepe? You know, does Pepe feel he's getting the best? And I will have to say this as well, you know, obviously a manager can't do everything. A manager has to micromanage, and this is why it's so important to have a squad of people you trust. You know, if you can't lead the coaching session today because you want to do a one-on-one with Pepe, that coach has to have the demand of the squad so they don't mess around, and also the tactical knowledge. And you need to have the faith that he could carry that. Again, how much time can he talk? Can he dedicate to just purely Pepe? Because he has to think about Wolves. He can't spend his whole week working with Pepe. He has to work with the collective squad. So what are the other players? Because again, if he has to work with the collective squad and he said it's a joint effort, what is your coach saying Pepe is showing concerning signs in and improving in? You know, we've got that guy, I know he's 24, Carlos something, Cava. Isn't he an individual coach where he works with players on how to improve them or finding specific ways? So when I see that, you know, we should know full well with what Joe Willett can and can't do and how we improve him. Or if we look at somebody like Reece Nelson, you know, we know he's good, but he probably needs to work on his set pieces. You know, how are we going to develop Eddie? What sort of rough patches are in Pepe's play? Obvious reasons, but what are we working to mitigate against that? Saliba, you know, we don't think he's ready. So with the individual coach, what is he doing with him? You know, sort of thing. It is a joint responsibility. So I'd say both of them need to be honest, and not that it's end of the world, but you need to say to yourself, have I done everything as a coach to get the best out of Pepe? Have I done anything right or wrong? I think I'd say I'd give him a 90%. I think that 10% has been consistent chances you haven't given him. If I'm Pepe, have you done everything you've done? And it's up to them to be honest. Only with honesty can they get anything back, people. Really and truly, you know. And like you said, he needs to embrace the challenge. When you're backed up into a corner, you know, you either curl in a ball and fight, or you fight back. And Pepe needs to fight back. The world is onto him. The world's calling him a flop. You know, looking at him in the paper, you would think he shot one of his members, one of his squad, with one of his teammates' girlfriends in the head at point blank range. The way people are talking about him, he needs to fight back. You know, he needs to take this all in his stride and realize, yo, if I want to have a success, there's no more games, because these people that are onto you and hate you and whatnot, they're the same ones that will sing you to the rooftops in your name. Football is fickle. You play good, everybody shuts up. He was then pressed on if Pepe apologized to his teammates. He said, absolutely right. He did it. He did it personally and he did it publicly. That's done. Let's move on. We all make mistakes. We all make decisions when we are in the middle of the heat. It's about the reaction, what we learn from it individually and as a team, and moving on. That's it. We need to focus on the next game. And simple as it's got been and gone. Stop being a hothead and we go again. It's as simple as that. When asked on how he gets us out of bad form, he said, if you see the results that have happened in the Premier League and why teams win or lose, the margins are minimal. Teams are winning with 1 shot on target or with 2 shots on target. Arsenal ain't, because we're doing that and we're not Arteta. So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, we want to improve that. And to be fair, you know, we need to shoot more. You spoke about 90, 100 goals. He said, we want to improve that. Of course we do. But as well, there are many aspects, and I am really happy there are many aspects that I'm really happy with, and I am enthusiastic and optimistic about. When I see young talents we've got here in the future and we can produce for them, it's things that get me really excited. We know that we are going through difficult periods because you don't change issues that have been going on for years in a small amount of time. And it's true, but I'd say, Arteta, you know, you've been here for 10 months now. You've made a lot of improvements mentally, collectively with the squad, but there are some incidences that it genuinely looks like we've made no attempt to improve. He also said, it makes it harder, but we know that we are Arsenal and our aim is to be the best all the time. He was then asked on whether Christian Eriksen could solve our creative issues. There are a lot of players out there that could improve any team, but obviously we are not going to discuss any individuals. When asked about the international break, people, he then spoke about obviously how it causes injury and the rest of it. He spoke about George Lewis, and I don't know if George Lewis has traveled in the relevance. In fact, I say that he's Norwegian, innit? And he's actually settled into life at Arsenal well. Sadly, an injury disrupted him. He said, he's a player with huge potential. Norway are developing a lot of talent in recent years, and it's the fact that you're doing a lot of things right from the academy, probably the government with developing the programs over years. Now you can see some results, and I'm pleased to see that because that means these leagues are getting more and more competitive, and things are getting done around the world as well. When asked on Sander Berge, I already said, you know, he's a Sheffield United player, and we haven't done anything at all, and he played coy. You know, there's no point speaking about the fans. He also said on the schedule, you know, he said, absolutely, we can give a few hours at least. It makes a huge difference in the schedule when you're playing twice around Europe. It makes the recovery time incredibly difficult. So, yeah, if they take that on board, then I think it's beneficial for all parties because at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business and we have to provide the best possible outcome for that. And that only happens when the players are in the best condition to perform and are physically ready. You know, footballers are treated like guinea pigs, so it's facts. He was then asked on, obviously, if we're too reliant on Aubameyang. He said, when you have a player like him, you have to rely on him. It's not something that has happened this year. It's something that's happened in previous seasons that we have relied too much on him in recent years to score goals. We need other players to step in and take responsibility. That's facts, they do, but at the same time, you need to set up a system that thrives with that. And he said, we need goals from midfield and defenders to score from set pieces to contribute. All players go through these periods. I know Aubameyang will be back and score goals again very soon. when asked on Jack Wilshere, he said what I said. You know, we haven't analysed the situation, and he praised him as a teammate. He was then asked if he might be invited to train with the squad. He said we haven't been approached. He said there's been no requests. You know, we've already spoke about Balogun and what he said. You know, raw. And I hope Saka is back for the weekend, but apparently he is going to be back for Wolves. He said it's very doubtful that he'll be back for the weekend. We have a few players in contention. He's been in a lot of pain for the last few days, so I cannot say today that he's going to be fit. We'll have to assess what happens the day before the game against Wolves, but we have other players fit, and whether he's fit or not, we'll try to find the right solutions for our attacking players to prepare for the game against Wolves. A bit of that might be him playing coy and not wanting Nuno, you know, considering Nuno played on the Monday and he's having all this time to not only analyse Arsenal, but think about things, to kind of concede that Willian and Saka are going to play. I think Saka will be back. I don't know that. I'm being told he's back for the weekend. I'm being told indirectly by Arteta he's not, so he might be being a bit coy. If Saka isn't 100% fit, then of course I don't want to lose against Wolves, and I think we have a significant more chance of losing if he isn't there. But I don't mind losing a battle to win a war. Saka is 19. We need to look after man. So if he can't play, is what it is. And for these other players, they need to step up, because big up Foden for scoring as well. The other players need to step up, because it shouldn't be a 19-year-old that I'm saying this as a fan. You know, with all due respect to Saka, I think he's a madness, people. I think he's a great player, but unless it's a teenage R9 and people like that, or Wayne Rooney to a degree, or Cesc Fabregas or Mbappe, you know me, I love Pepe. We shouldn't be relying on man like that, and it should make these players sick that they're saying that. But hopefully Saka is actually available. So yeah, man. He then, in scrolling through, he was then asked on Pepe again. He said, when asked on whether Pepe felt the pressure or felt under pressure as he was in and out the team, he said, we just need to try and support him, and he needs to feel that myself and the club are going to protect him. We are giving him time, and he needed some time last year to adapt to the Premier League, to a new city, to a new language, to a new environment. You could see at the end of the season the way that he started to play, the demands with him, with his ability. I'm going to be very demanding, because I know what he can do. He needs to deal with that. And that's, you know, if Arteta wouldn't be on your back if he didn't believe in you, you know, he wouldn't. You know, you wouldn't be at the club. So that's it. I think he's dealing with it the right way. The other day he had a reaction, and when you're on that pitch, it's completely different to try to understand it outside. He has reacted the right way after that, and hopefully I can see a player that shows that every week it's in his hands. He's a player I really like, and I know what he can do. And it's completely up to him. So that's what he said. He's saying, you know, Arteta more or less said, I'm going to try and give you all I can, but it's down to him. You know, he's got to meet him halfway, and it is down to Pepe. I do think Arteta's done him dirty. I do think he's not giving him a lot of opportunities this season, but, you know, it's going to live or die on Pepe. You know, you can't be blaming everything. It doesn't mean these aren't legit reasons, but if Pepe leaves tomorrow and he doesn't have the best of times at Arsenal, he can't look at it fondly. Fundamentally, he needs to blame himself rather than looking at others, man. You know, I'm happy with that as well. And I'm not saying Arteta's going to do that, but didn't he say for Mesut Ozil, for Torreira, for Guendouzi, whose situations are all different purely from, and not almost nothing to do with a sporting background, because Ozil's the wages, Torreira Torreira wasn't playing, but we heard he would never settled. Guendouzi is a football one because of the Brighton thing, but it's not down to ability, you know, or stuff like that. He said all them and they get to start again, you know, they're going to be in the squad and whatnot, and we knew what was going to happen. So maybe that's food for thought, people. He then said if we could benefit from qualification tomorrow, and this should be the most important thing these players take. He said, for squad management in football, when you have the chance to grab something, you have to do it in that moment. You don't know what's going to happen in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, in any game. There are a lot of things that can happen. I always tell the players, when you have it, you can do it today, then do it, and then forget about it. Then let's move on. Also, they're on 6 points. Now, I know goal difference is kind to us, but in theory, you know, they could go level with us. You know, our final game, say we lose, we can go out. You know, we can't assume, even though I think we're through, we can't assume that we're through. So that would be the main point for my players, you know, understanding, like at the start of when I started reading, what to expect tactically. And the underlying factor is when we return home from Norway, we've got 3 points, we're qualified, so that when we're on that plane, or even, it sounds bad, but come half time, we can turn our hat fully in our attention to Wolves, you know, because that's going to be a tough game, and Wolves are going to be angry because they they drew against Southampton. Wolves have also, you know, they played on a Monday, they're not playing to the Sunday. fair enough, our players are being rested, but you look at it, in theory, Xhaka, Kieran Tierney, David Luiz, these players, you know, could play both games, and they might be less fit. You heard Arteta speak about in the build up to the Leeds game, in fact, how they had less players called up for international, and I'm sure maybe to a degree Arteta probably alluded to that's why we looked off it, even though we know that's not really a leg to stand on of sorts, people. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards. But hopefully we can just win, qualify. On the topic of Molde versus Arsenal, once again, check the pin tweet. You know, live stream from 4:55 tomorrow. Molde versus Arsenal. Give me a like. Please hit the like button. Please hit your reminders. If you're not going to be there, hit the like button. You know, pardon me, as usual, hit the like button on this video. What do you think this is? Check out the YouTube memberships and whatnot. Pardon me. I'm gonna see what you lot have got to say, people. What you lot on? I've seen you lot chatting bare in the comments. Let me see. Mario said waiting for DG to make his own football team, trying to play for DGFCG. Maybe one day, but I ain't got the finances for that. I ain't got the time for it. I'd love to have it. You know, he is learning, but that doesn't mean you can't criticize some of the things Arteta is doing. But I do wholeheartedly agree. You know, when I look at Carlo Ancelotti, and I don't know if Jose was ever given the role, offered it, you know, these managers, these Carlos, these Allegris, these Luis Enriquez, they probably, when they got phoned by Arsenal, they were probably keen to listen. They thought, Arsenal, you know, the carrot of returning them, it's a big club, it looks good on the CV, let me go and do it, you know. But when it probably came into the convo, like, all right, cool, I'm going to be Arsenal manager, but you're giving me £5 in the transfer market. You're saying I have to sell to spend my £5. I need to make £10 by selling these other guys. Carlo probably just said, "Light, man. I've won Champions League, light, man." Luis Enrique just said, "Light, man." Allegri just said, "You know who I am, light, man. You know, you're telling me, looking at this squad, you're not going to give me any peace. Allow it." And with Arteta, something must have changed, because he rejected the position 12 months ago. Did he think he was ready? Did he think he still had unfinished business at Manchester City? You know, have they offered him something they didn't offer him previously? Have they given him assurances? You know, is there been more sort of things like that? And obviously, the underlying factor is Arteta is in less of a negotiating position, because he had a good thing going for him with Pep being there. But at the same time, you know, he can't really sit there and demand things that Jose and Carlo and them man do. Them man, they have the CV to kind of back it up. You know, Arteta's agreed to go for what he wants, but he probably sit there and go, "Yo, listen, I'm not being." They probably say, "Listen, I'm not being funny, Arteta. You ain't won nothing. So what are you talking about?" You know, it holds more weight if Carlo asks for certain things. You know, do you think Carlo went to Everton? They gave him assurances. They brought in the Corey Allen and Hammers. You know, he's probably we'll be scratching our hands, and then we'll still blame the manager at time. I'm not saying the manager shouldn't be held accountable, but you get it. Oh, and that's where the people around him are vital, people. The people around him. Big up yourself, Angry. See, it don't matter, man. When your shift is done, we've all got to pay our bills. When the shift is done, you can tune back in. We're not going nowhere. Don't worry about that. I would love Guendouzi to come back. I would love Szoboszlai. I would love Aouar. And you know, we're not gonna get the two. And I think Guendouzi is gone if we do get them. But I wouldn't say it's bloated. If in theory, I would like those three. You know, you'd have Partey, that's four. You probably need to keep a Joe or something and just have that fifth sort of role, you know. And you know, between El Nene, between Joe, between Torreira, who I'd like to keep, there's a decision to be made over them. So we'll have to see what happens, man. Trust me, he's always late, man. He's always late, man. But big up Hamid, man. It doesn't matter if you're late, as long as you're tuning in. If you're just tuning back in, hit the like button, you know, and the rest of it, people. We don't need Eriksen. We need to play Ozil. Fair play, fair play. Trust me, they said he's available. Big up the members. Big up Yowen and big up Subi, man. Big up you lot. You know, hopefully. I haven't seen that. Interestingly, I watched it yesterday. You know, I watched the Lovers Rock one. You know, I watched that. It was quite good, to be fair with you. Gonna see that in the highlights, my guy. Yeah, we've got to leave the Ozil thing. We've got to leave the Ozil thing. I fully agree, man. Couple questions. Get your questions in, people. Couple more questions, and I'm going to keep it moving. I wouldn't mind going back to a 4-4-2 with the signing of Partey. I was against it because I didn't think we had a strong enough midfield. Partey's only one man. No man's an island, but he gives me more confidence. Big up yourself and big up all my Gambian tugs. Is the job too big for Arteta currently? Well, it looks so right now, or in a sense he's struggling. He probably does feel overwhelmed and whatnot. Right now it does, but I back our gaffer until he shows me something to say really that, you know, I'm looking stupid for backing you, Kai. You're looking a bit mad. What? Oh, the nearly 28k subs. Hopefully, everyone, if you're not a subscriber, get the subs in, man. I'm trying to get 30 before the end of the season, so hopefully that could be done, man. Hopefully that could be done. What do you think of the New Balance deal for us? I don't know. Have we got a new deal with? Let me type in Arsenal New Balance. I haven't heard anything of that. Have we switched? Not gonna lie, people, I can't see any. Sorry, my dude, I can't see anything related to that at all, my guy. I can't see anything. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but it is what it is, man. I can't see anything in relation to New Balance. So unless you can inform me in that, I don't know, man. 30k celebration stream, yeah, man. 30k celebration stream, we'll do that, man. That's a landmark thing. That's a mad landmark. Allow him, man. Allow Pepe, man. I would take just the Szoboszlai for 25 mil. You know, I don't know what sanction fees we'd have to pay to Real Madrid, because you'd have to either buy Ceballos permanently or cancel his loan to bring in Isco, because I don't think laws allow you to have two players on loan from the same club. Big up yourself, Alex Jones, man. Don't know why I was calling you Ali. There's someone in the comments called Ali. But big up yourself, Alex, man. It means a lot, man. Big up yourself as well, considering you're a Leeds fan as well. That means you're here. You're a man of integrity. You have your fans, you have your club, you have your, you know, your banter and the rest of it. But fundamentally, you're here for good chat. And I'm happy to have you, because that's what I want the DG Nation of. Balance heads. We're here for something else. You know, you can look everywhere on YouTube for all the shouting and moving mad and stuff. We're here for something to take away, whether we agree or not. So it means a lot, man. R.I.P. Maradona, like you said, simple as that, man. R.I.P. Maradona. You know, it's quite upsetting. After West Ham and Sheffield games, Arteta screamed after the game, knowing he got away with it. You know, I hope to see an improvement as well. I really hope to see an improvement. I hope to see a turnaround. I just want to, it's the performance, because whether we've won, lost or drawn, there's been a consistent inconsistency in how we've performed. We've just looked like we're accepting the inevitable. We're accepting our fate. You know, it's good problems. Not everybody needs to start all the time, Seal Bill, in my opinion. Someone can miss out. It's a squad game. But, you know, Saka can fill in midfield. But for me, you know, I'd like Saka on the left, you know, or Aubameyang through the middle, Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right. I would like Martinelli to be effective on the right. I think Martinelli needs to look to Alexis Sanchez. Alexis could play through the middle, could play on the left, play on the right. That's a complete player, you know. You look at all the, obviously, as you get older, you adapt, but you look at all the best players, they can perform. They're a specialist of one thing and can play in others. So yeah, that is something I would consider, man. For you, come big up everybody locked in. As I said, please hit the like button. Come on, man. Doesn't cost a thing. Bro, Real Madrid, you know, they're flirting with it. They're flirting with it, and it will complicate things for Arsenal and Spurs. And, you know, there's a couple other teams that on paper right now, if they don't fix up, it's looking a bit peak, man. Big up yourself, Mob Squad, as well, man. I really appreciate you saying some positive words and obviously providing some cool talking points. It means a lot, and I'll endeavor to keep improving the product, ultimately giving you guys better things. And, you know, I just hope you keep rocking with the guy, man. So big up everybody locked in. It's always appreciated each and every time. You already know I don't take nothing for granted, people. Bro, he can't. Bro, he can only, you know, that's it. He can, at least for now, Pepe has to do up the Europa League, man. You know, I want him as soon as he served his ban. I won't say get in the lineup straight away, but let's give him a run in the team and things like that. So yeah, man. You know, and big, like he said, subscribe to the thing, people. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit your reminders. You know, in the description, in the pinned message in this live stream, there's actually information about my next live stream, which is going to be Molde versus Arsenal. Make sure you're all there. If you're not going to be there, hit the like button. Check out the YouTube memberships as well. Big up yourself, Donald, each and every time. Big up everyone. Hey, thank you for always tuning in. You know, it's a live stream. You lot always come heavy with the support. You know, I don't want to be here chatting to myself and all of these things. So I appreciate you lot supporting the team. You have to help a guy, innit? I really appreciate that. Facts, bro. I hope Arteta is a right manager because I want my club to get back. But I do think fans are reactionary. They're reactionary over players. They're reactionary over us after Arsenal. I think too many players set up camps, whether that's I must back Arteta under every means, you know, not I back Arteta, but I'll asking questions, or I must back these players consistently. You know, people just lying in unnecessary beds sort of thing when we need to approach this thing with balance. So you're fully right, bro. Trust me, they need to fix up and do what they need to do. But saying that, if Shakhtar came down, they would probably beat us up on current form. They're looking good. They're looking very good. That's what I mean, Seal Bill, man. Good problems, you know, good problems. Good problems. Look at Liverpool with Jota. Obviously, because the way everyone's playing, there's a way to play everyone, but some man have to miss out sort of thing. Do you get it? So it gives us more options. And obviously, you know, make sure you're not the guy who misses that sort of thing. Big up Derek, another member. Appreciate you for being a member, and you're always here, Derek, man. Big up yourself. You know, it is what it is. Big up Ahmad as well. You're the only op I watch. You already know how it is, my bro. You know, you like to throw banter our way, but it means a lot, man. Fundamentally, we can have a laugh and a joke, but we're all here for good content. Like you said, Wayne, it's in our best interest, not because, you know, you are allowed to say, I don't believe in Arteta right now. I did not want Arteta, and he's concerning me. You as a fan are allowed to say that. Equally, a fan's allowed to say, I back Arteta, you know. If something goes wrong with Arteta, we say, you know, in hindsight, I was backing him, but he's not the guy. You know, why should you be killed for changing your opinion? In the same way, you can say, yo, Arteta's moving a bit mad right now. But in the future, which I hope happens, like Wayne said, that he proves to be a success, it is what it is sort of thing, people. Do you get it? And he needs, and I want that to happen because we're going to keep saying the same old things. We're going to keep saying the next manager needs his own squad. We're going to keep saying they needs his own players. You know, we're not Chelsea. We can't give one manager 70 million and then the next man. I want it to work for Arteta. You know, give us a bit of longevity, give us a bit of stability, you know, that tells other players to commit your futures as well. I don't want us to become around about paying all leaps of compensation to this manager, then that manager's coming in, because where do we move from here? We can say the Allegris, the Luis Enriques and all these other sort of names, but are they going to come to Arsenal when it gets down to the nuts and bolts? You know, we've tried to get the experienced manager in Unai Emery, tried to do a little less win Europa League thing. It didn't bang. We've gone for Arteta right now, and the jury's still out with the sort of fresh into management sort of thing. At the start of the year, start of the season, or last season when he took over, we didn't speak about his lack of experience. And I said because he's doing well. He did. You don't become a bad manager overnight. He's got some good things. But now we're talking about the lack of experience because of the things he's doing. And I said this was going to happen. It's about him learning and learning fast. As simple as that. We all make mistakes, you know. Learn from them. Last year, he was trying things, instantly learning, clocking things early. Now it's like delaying the inevitable sort of thing. Will Ozil ever play again? Unlikely. I would like to see him registered in January if we're not going to sign anyone, but unlikely. Big up yourself, Jamster. Like you said, man, big up everyone online. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you're liking it. You know, I don't mind seeing the Eriksen. This is why I like to speak to you guys. There's all different opinions, you know. People are saying Eriksen is stale. You know, Ryan is saying he would take Eriksen. You know, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Yeah, they're probably bottom now, but I've been impressed with them in the champs, to be fair, man. They've got some couple of good results and played well. Big up yourself, Jay, another member. I really appreciate the members, man. You lot always checking into the member content, to the all lots of actual videos I put out. And you're obviously always in the live streams. It means a lot, man. Each and every one of you. I appreciate everyone, man. That's the thing, my guy. It's almost, and I'm sure at United, you've got your own several opinions, you know. You're not allowed to not believe in someone and change your opinion. Just because I feel, you know, this player in 2002 was the best, I must wait until 2020 to keep shouting that. Is crazy, man. Shout him then, innit? Shout him. I don't think the man there like me, but shout him, innit? Good thing your hair is I used to have long hair. It probably won't be here. It wouldn't probably be here anyways if I did keep it. So it's a good thing. Like Jay said, run up the likes. It costs nothing, man. Do up the likes, people. It means nothing, man. That's the thing, man. We'd be stuck with a next man that we wouldn't shuffle, and we'd be criticizing the club for doing such. I like Arteta as well. I've seen a lot that I like and a lot that I don't like. Right now, he's still the guy I've got faith in, but he just needs to pattern up and learn from his mistakes. It's as simple as that. I wouldn't take that. I'm a big fan of Dele Alli. I know he plays for the Ops, but nah, man, like he's not good. What's he gonna bring to the table? You know, if it was the Dele Alli where he's scoring, you know, and them things there, then yeah. But I don't see what he's gonna bring. I don't think his gameplay has kicked on. I really think he's at a crossroads in his career because you're not talking about him at Spurs, and that's because he hasn't. You don't know what Dele Alli actually is. For one, he's stagnated. For two, you know, and he's just not performing. I'm sure most Spurs fans would want Dele Alli involved and sing all them chants and stuff, but he's not doing the business. It's as simple as that. You know, it could always change. You look at Ndombele, he's having a better fortune at Chelsea now, at Spurs now, apologies. But right now it's peak for Dele. It's peak for Dele right now. And obviously with the Euros and the fact that you're not involved is what it is. I've got it recorded and I will be watching it, you know, well, at some point. Big up yourself, Capo. Don't know, it means a lot that everybody's tuned in. Arsenal should sign Jesse Lingard. You're on a banter thing. You don't like us at all. Ahmad, trust me, man. Big up Rants, big up Matisse. I can't even show you the message. I don't know what's happening with tomorrow when we're shooting, but I said, are we shooting tomorrow? I've sent a message, people. I don't know if it's being received. I don't know who's read it and who's not read it. You know, let me message. In fact, let me message Rants directly instead of the chat. Show tomorrow, bro. You can't see his number, can you? Yeah, well, it'd be a problem if you could. You see, look, I've shouted Rants, Matty. I've shouted him, my guy, privately. Yeah. If the show's on, I'm there. If I'm not there, I don't know. Oh, big up Miles. He's back again. You know, unfortunately, he's a Spurs fan. I'd love to wipe that smug smile off your face in that display picture in a couple of weeks. But I understand it. I'd be smug to you. Everything's banging for Spurs right now. You know, I don't know if you're actually being sincere with Eriksen, you know, and I probably get where you're getting at with Arteta, man. It's just down to Arteta to prove you wrong. But big up yourself, man. You saw I did my bit. I did my bit. I did my bit, my guy. Like, there's nothing else I can do. Bro, it might not work. It might not work. And if it doesn't work, you know, get Arteta out sort of thing. I back Arteta, but he's not my, you know, I support Arsenal Football Club. I ain't got allegiances to Arteta like that, beyond me wanting to get it right. It's not like an Arsene Wenger thing where you're, you know, I'm a big fan of Wenger where I wanted him to go, but it's like your granddad and that. You don't want to see him done dirty. I ain't got allegiances to Arteta other than the respect I give him because he's the manager. The want for me to, you know, see him do well. And also what I feel is he's got a lot of things to answer for, but I don't think he's to blame for everything. Fundamentally, he's the manager, so everything lives or dies by him. But I don't think it's that bad. It is bad, but it's like, you get it. Until I see him really show me something where I'm like, yo, you're really concerning me, I'm not going to get that. For me, why I'm on to Arteta right now, as much as I'm praising, not even praising him, backing him, not even backing him, but speaking, for me, it's the simple question of, while I have sympathy for it's not his players and all of these things, simple question, people, yeah? Collectively, is Arteta getting the best out of the tools available to him? I'm not saying these tools are anything to scream or shout about or do YouTube reviews about. I'm just simply asking right now, is Mikel Arteta doing everything he can do to get the most out of the tools, being the players he has available to him right now? If you believe so, fair play. But as much as I back him, and I think the players have to be held accountable, I'll leave you lot to answer that, man. Tell him to shout, man, then, innit? Shell it, big up Chigs as well. Tell him to shout, man, innit? You know? Go be Mesut Ozil, Chris. Put that one into place. I'll get it done for you. If man are really on it. Put me on the top of my head, but I wouldn't say one, but I'm looking at Josh De Silva. There's a couple of lads at Swansea. We can't get him, but I think Harvey Elliott is doing quite well at Blackburn, as is Adam Armstrong. Got a video on them. There's a couple man in the Championship still, man. And you put me on the spot. Just check my own vids. Check my old vids. I'm actually going to do a recap video of that. There is a couple players that I wouldn't mind looking at still and taking a chance. Obviously, Ben Rama was one, you know. I like João Pedro at Watford, what I'm seeing so far as well. You know me. I've got a big bias to Brazilian players. Is what it is. Bring him true, man. Bring him true. Do your thing, man. Does Pepe play the next 3 Europa League games, and will that decide where we can come back into the team? Well, I think he should, and it does. You know, he puts in a good. Obviously, man will say they're dead rubbers and that, but that's all he can play in until there's FA Cup or Carling Cup. If there was that tomorrow, which you know his ban will be over by then, he can't play against Wolves. He can't play against Spurs. Is he not out of 3 games technically? So there'd be another game. He has to, and how he trains and plays now will decide when the suspension is over if he'll do his thing. You know, John isn't keen on the Eriksen idea, you know. Football is a game of mini coaches, or I think it's going to go that way. So that could be it. What I'd hope, I think Arteta's sensible enough to know that he can't do everything. He can't be everywhere. He can't be all the eyes and ears. You need to trust your squad. No, my guy, I'm going to disagree. I don't think we've turned into a prime side of the Italians, but there is a bit more grit. There is a bit more determination. There is an improvement. We're not screaming and shouting like I'm saying, but I think there is that. The problem is, you know, when you're just sitting back and parking the bus and you can be as great as defensively as you're not, it then becomes a state of vulnerability. As I said in my last live stream, apologies if you weren't there. If you're in a boxing match, yeah. And to be fair, Floyd Mayweather was the king of defense, but he didn't win a boxing match by not hitting a man back. If you're in a boxing match and someone's banging you in your face and you're bobbing and weaving and you're ducking, yeah, it's a form of defense. You're tying them out, you're looking good. But at some point, you've got to hit back or it's going to get long for you. But if you duck, bang him in his face, what's going to happen? That's a form of defense. You've defended yourself from getting hit. You've hit a guy before he's hit you. Now you're on the attack. And in the Premier League, like you know yourself, my guy, you can't just sit back and sit back and sit back. People will pick you off. Saying that, though, Spurs aren't exactly elite defensively, though, my guy. You know, you have made things a bit harder than it needs to be. You haven't been, your form's been great. Players are playing great, but on a non-biased thing, my thoughts of Spurs is they're doing amazing. You know, they're doing what they need to do. Jose's got some grit and determination. You know, best performances for me, obviously your performance at the recent one against Spurs. A man has said against Spurs, against City, and you demolished United. That being said, I do think you make games harder than it needs to be. You drew against Everton because of VAR, but you didn't kill the game. You drew against West Ham because your defense was poor. You didn't kill the game. You know, you beat West Brom, fair play, but you made it harder than it needed to be. And I think sooner or later, because that's the thing that happens at Arsenal, that luck will run out. And I'm not saying that means Arsenal are going to come ahead of you or making it into that. That's just my opinions. But it's true, like you said, man, you need to attack. You know, when our defense isn't amazing as well. We've conceded a lot of goals, really. We've lost 3-0. When you're still conceding and just sitting back and you're toothless in front of goal, you don't get the vibe that you want to win a football match. And that's why I always say in my vids, I never get the vibe, regardless of the context of a game for Arsenal, that we're ever truly trying to win a game of football. Carlos, I guess it could happen, but I do think it's a bit different. You know, when Emery was doing it, it seemed like there was more of a meal of it. It seems like they're a bit more accepting under Arteta. You know, maybe there's been a bit more clarity. Maybe there's been a bit more conversation. I don't know, man. I hope it works, man. I hope it works, but I don't think it's going to happen. I hope it is, man. But I think Spurs are going to have a season to remember. You know, they might win the Carling Cup trophy, and finally they'll say there's a season where they ain't won something, where we ain't won something. It's all banter though. It's all said in jest, man. I can't let there's too many of you fans from other clubs coming in here and being smug and that people. It's mad. Big up my moderators as well. Look at that. Why did you ban him? Big up them. Good cop, bad cop. Big up Marcus and big up Ahmad. Hey, 300 likes. Mad thing. Keep running it up, people. Make sure you hit the like button on the other video as well. Molde versus Arsenal live stream from 4:55 tomorrow. You know, hit your reminders. The link is in the description. In fact, it's in the pinned message. It's also in the description. Hit the like button, as I've just said. You know, all you got to do is hit the like button, hit the reminders, even if you're not going to be there. I've been so excited to speak to you guys. I ain't even had that little thing there running. You know, I need a producer, man. I just want to be the guy who speaks, man. I need a producer patting up thumbnails and patting up the technology and all of these sort of things. Big up everybody locked in, people. Like you said, Derek, attack is the best form of defense. It's just about balance. Like, I don't mind that Arteta before and last year, it looked like, all right, cool. We're considering the threats of the other team. You know, we're having to defend, we're having to remain rigid. But when we had the ball, we was looking to break. We're putting moves together. Now I'm just seeing a freestyle thing. Was that a bounce because we got a new manager? I don't know, but it was a bit, you know, I was looking at, what's all this about, fella? Do you get it? So perfect from one of my members, Derek, man. Like you said, man. Like you said, attack is the best form of defense. You're seeing that. You see, let's get it to 300, man. Come on, man. Hit me up for thumbnails. Bro, I beg you comment when this video comes out. I beg you comment or DM me on Instagram or do something that I can contact you because I'll be mad, man. You know, 311. Big up yourselves. Big up yourselves, man. Bro, I remember when life was easy, you know. Arsenal were finishing fourth. Life, death, Arsenal finishing fourth and ahead of Spurs was the days. Gone now. Gone now. Mad thing, man. Big up yourself as well, man. You know, make sure you come back and read and watch the rest of the vid and whatnot. But I appreciate you got things to do. So take care of yourself wherever you are, and whatever you're doing, man. Take care of yours. Return soon, man. Return soon. Couple more questions. I'm gonna get out of here, people. Cause you know I'm tired. I know you're all tired. We've got Champions League on. Still 1-0 to Manchester City. You know, couple more questions and let's keep it moving. Let me scroll up, see if I've missed anything else out. You see, I did my bit. I did my bit, man. Hope Rants replies, cause you know us two and Matisse, serious deadly trio and that. I would like Maitland-Niles to get an opportunity in midfield. I see him as someone that can lock down the fullback role, but if required, move into midfield. There has to be a reason as to why, no matter how much Arteta talks him up in that midfield role, and all of us can see it, why he hasn't been given an opportunity there consistently under numerous managers and people like Joe Willock have. You know, I'm not saying that to belittle anyone or critique anyone. There just has to be a legit reason. In the same way, I don't understand why Joe Willock plays in the 10 role, in the cam role. But, you know, you've had Wenger was the guy who used to play him as a pivot, but you've had Arteta, Ljungberg, and Emre all playing there. You know, I still maintain my opinion, but they've all got more years of experience in the professional game and no more knowledge than me. There's got to be a reason why they're doing that. So there's got to be a reason why Maitland hasn't been given a spot there. I know in isolation, you look at United, Old Trafford a couple of years ago, he stood out there. You know, there's been a couple of games he looked certified in midfield, really. But I don't know, man. For some, I guess that's a question we'd probably need someone at the top to answer, to get, or someone with insider knowledge or something. Definitely think there's talent in the lower ends. Look at Vardy, look at Ollie Watkins. You know, there's man out there. You just got to give them a bit of time. You know, you've just got to take a chance. Look at Bowen at West Ham. There's a couple man there. Eze at Palace. You know, Ben Rama ain't set the world alight at West Ham, but there's a couple man there. There's just do your due diligence as a club and do your thing, man. So yeah, man. Bro, long gone, my brother. Long gone. Long gone. Upsetting, innit? Upsetting, bro. Mad upsetting. But with that being said, you know, I have to call this one a day, people. It's been an hour and a half. You know, I did 2 hours before. I've been putting in a mad shift for you guys. Like I said with you guys, people, I want you all there tomorrow. So please, from early, you know, in the pin tweet, go over there, hit the like button, hit your reminder. Do what you need to do. Make sure you're subscribed to the guy if you're not subscribed, people. And I'm such a nice guy, you know. I'm not even going to let you lot go because I see one more question. Where do you see Arsenal in 3 years? Where's a piece of string? If, and the great word is if you sign several players, there's no reason you can't be back in the Champions League. Tell would have said one thing that Maitland has that would be beneficial is his pace. Trust me, you know, he's got pace, he's got dynamism. And it would kind of, at times, it would kind of want to kill him for it, but his calmness on the ball, you know, and he can play forward, but, you know, I don't think he can break the lines in that, but he can, and he's dynamic, and he's got an engine. I would like him in that role, but there's got to be a reason, Telwood, why he ain't been thrown in there. I don't know. But as I said, people, yeah, I'm going to bust out of here now. Please make sure you've liked the video. Please make sure you go off and like my old other video and hit the reminder. All the information is both in the description and the pin tweet. It's been fantastic, people, being with you guys. But for now, I'm going to get out of here, people. Ahmad, I see your question whenever he wants me there. Big up the new subscribers, then follow his lead and like the video, people. I'll be back again soon. Like I said, 4:55 tomorrow, English time. So whatever time zone you're at, you know, look on your iPhone or whatever and do the maths. But make sure you hit the reminder button. Make sure you hit the like button. More importantly than that, please stay safe, people. You know, appreciate your loved ones and whatnot. Please, man, take care. You know, respect. Hope you enjoy what's left of your evening. Hope you enjoy the Champions League football. On that note, DG, I'm out. Please make sure you follow me on all my socials. You know, I'm on Spotify. Go and check out the Spotify as well, people. Like Wayne said, Wayne YT said it's underrated. Please follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get up to 10K. You know, once you get up to 10K, you can start getting some things and maneuvering and bettering things. I'm trying to get there. I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday. So, and I appreciate the new fans. I appreciate the regulars. You know, I'm seeing a lot of names. Tel was there, Ahmad, TW, Marcus, you know, and all the members. You know, just because I ain't said your name don't mean I don't see it. I see the names that are there. So I'm always appreciative, man. But let me stop rambling. I'm out, man. Deluded.